CX leaders, they love dashboards, they love numbers, they love NPS. But here's the uncomfortable truth. By the time NPS drops, the experience has already failed. Because NPS doesn't create loyalty, behavior does. Every smile, every tone of voice, every act of empathy from your people shapes how customers feel long before they ever answer the survey. That's the hidden KPI, the invisible predictor of experience. We've built entire systems to track what customers say, but almost none to track what employees do. And that's where the next evolution of CX measurement begins. According to Forrester's Employee Experience Index, companies with highly engaged employees deliver 1.8 times better customer satisfaction and 2.3 times higher retention. Gallup found that every 10% increase in engagement drives a 12% rise in customer loyalty. So if your NPS is struggling, don't start with your customers, start with your culture. Because customer experience is not an event, it's an echo. And the first sound always comes from inside. Let's talk about this hidden metric then, the behavior layer beneath every good experience. I call it the hidden KPI model, bit mysterious. And it has 3 levels. First, micro behaviors, the smallest repeatable actions that shape perception, the tone of voice during recovery, the speed of which empathy appears in a conversation, those tiny I noticed you gestures that no system can script. Second, behavior signals, patterns we can actually observe and measure. Chat sentiment, language analysis, resolution ratios, how often an employee turns a complaint to gratitude. And third, behavior to experience mapping. This is where it gets real powerful. Because once you connect internal behavior to external outcomes, you can predict your customer metrics. Teams with high proactive behavior scores show an 18% lift in CSAT according to Qualtrics. And Harvard Business Review found that empathy phrases in support calls can raise NPS by 25%. That's not magic, that's humanity quantified. But let's be honest, okay? NPS still dominates boardrooms. It's the executive comfort zone. It's easy to read, easy to compare, easy to worship. But here's the truth I tell every CX leader. NPS is useful as a barometer, not as a compass. It tells you if people felt something, but not why. That's why I created alternative CX metrics for this movement. The first is the regret score. How much would customers miss you if you disappear tomorrow? The second is the emotional granularity index, how precisely they can describe how you make them feel. And the third, my favorite, the experience energy metric, the flow of emotion across interactions. Positive momentum or emotional drain, it's all measurable if you know where to look. Because satisfaction does not build loyalty, emotional energy does. Now, here's where it all connects. The way your people feel becomes the way your customers feel. Neuroscience calls it emotional contagion. Our brains mirror the emotions we observe in others. When an employee stays calm under pressure, their tone and body language trigger safety signals in the customer's mirror neurons. Their brain literally synchronizes. That's why McKinsey found that emotional regulation among frontline teams predicts satisfaction better than speed of service. In short, the human system transmits faster than the technical one. So, how do you build this into your operations? You define behavior KPIs. You measure what happens before the data appears. For example, listen first, respond second. Acknowledge emotion before information. Finish strong. Then you capture that behavior in the flow of work, not through surveys, but through AI sentiment analysis, call reviews, feedback loops. The data is already there. You just haven't trained it to feel yet. And most importantly, you coach through stories, not control. Here's what this gesture did for that customer. Because stories stick where policies fade. Reward emotional performance. Recognize empathy, anticipation, recovery, because what gets rewarded gets repeated. Now, let's zoom out for a bit. If customers are mirrors, then employees are the light that reflects in them. Every interaction is a vibration of internal culture meeting external perception. That's why Harvard Business Review wrote, customer experience is not a function. It's a reflection of how an organization behaves when no one's watching. The metrics will follow the mirror. The echo will follow the sound. So stop obsessing over dashboards. Stop obsessing over dashboards and start listening to behavior. Because the true indicators of CX success, regret, emotion, energy, live in the invisible space before the numbers appear. So to wrap up, the next generation of CX leaders won't just track satisfaction. They will track behavior, emotion, and humanity. Because the ultimate customer metric doesn't live in a dashboard. It lives in every small act of care that happens before the data ever shows up. All right? Thank you so much for sticking here with me. This has been the H2H experiment. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to know more, check out the articles on LinkedIn, on the ECXO platform, as well as the videos on YouTube and the podcast on Spotify. We also have our books just released on Amazon, The HX Revolution. Go and check it out if you're interested in know more about these ideas that we have been sharing. Once again, thank you so much. Take care, stay kind, stay true. Bye.